Hello, welcome back. And for the new people here, thank you for coming. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and hit the notification button so you can get notified of the videos that I'm going to be dropping on a weekly basis. And just so you know, today we are going to be talking about how I, a military spouse, tried to join the military 1, 2, 3 times, and I did not obviously get into the military. Everybody thinks you can get into the military, but I'm here to tell you, you cannot. And get into this tea, right? So the year is 2000 and I want to say 8 or 9, and I'm working at Rite Aid, and I have a son, and my son is 1 at the time, and I'm like, this is not paying me a lot. I was supposed to go to college. I am so just lost right now. I really want to just do something. And for so long, I always wanted to join the military. Like, I always wanted to join the military. I have a military family, so I was just like, oh yeah, I'm going to join the military. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm not in the military, so obviously I didn't join, right? So I went through the whole process back then, 2008, 2009. I went through the whole process, and when I went through the process, I kid you not, I went, did my little ASVAB thing, scored real good, qualified for the job that I wanted. Then I went to MEPS, I did the whole physical, everything like that. Y'all, I was literally going to sign my contract. I was like, yeah, they was like, okay, we're gonna swear you in and you're gonna go sign your contract. And I'm like, we joined the military. Y'all, do you know this lady? And I might say I'm grateful for her, but then I might say I'm not, because I'm always changing jobs now. But this lady was like, no, something's wrong with your eyes, because if you can see, my eyes are 2 different sizes. So this one here is a normal size, and this one here, it stopped growing from a childhood injury. And so I have a detached retina. So although some people probably think that, oh, she got a lazy eye. No, baby, this is not a lazy eye. This is an actual detached retina, like regular size detached retina. But anyways, neither here nor there. The lady told me something was wrong with my eyes. She never seen nobody's eyes like mine, and she wanted them to look deeper into my eyes. So I'm like, they already said I could swear in. What are you talking about? She was like, no, I'm going to tell them now. You cannot swear in. No, they need to look at your eyes again. And she literally took my packet from the green stamp and walked with. She was like, come with me now. And it was a black lady. Come with me now. So we marched over to the doctor, and she was like, look at her eyes. Her eyes are not normal. She was, you need to take a deeper look at her eyes. And I'm like, yo, this lady is going hard about these eyes. So not knowing anything, I was just like, okay, whatever. So he was like, okay, we'll do a referral to have her talk to another doctor, and we'll decline her right now. And in my mind, I'm like, decline, like rejected. What? So I was like, okay, whatever. So when they rejected it, I went to go see another provider or whatever. He looked at my eyes, and he called it a retinocoloboma, meaning eye cancer. And I'm like, I do not have no coloboma. And so the recruiter at the time, he told me, we can put in a waiver, but it's probably going to be denied. And when somebody tell you something and they say it's probably going to be denied, and you young and naive, you just going to listen. So I was just like, okay. I was like, well, I don't want to do it because I don't want to wait. Like, I'm going to figure something else out. And I did, like I always do. I was just like, yeah, no, we're not about to sit here and wait. We're not about to wait for no waiver. I don't want to wait. I don't want to figure that out. And that was my mind back then. Mind you, this is 2008, 2009. So fast forward to 2000 and I want to say 13, 14. So mad years passed, and I'm still thinking of the military. I'm still thinking, let's join the military. And now in my mind, I'm like, we can go through the process, and I'm willing to wait for a waiver. I'm willing to go talk to somebody so that they can, give me a waiver. It's crazy because after all these years passed, I've had great jobs. I've been successful. I never struggled. It was just like, okay, now let's join the military. So, I'm like, all my friends are in the military. I really want to join the military. The military will allow me to travel. They'll pay my rent. Da 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 da. I don't got to worry about rent. I don't got to worry about all these things. And it's just like, any other job. I can join the military and, I'm going to have to put up with bullshit regardless of where I am, who I'm around. So I was just like, okay, let's join the military. So of course, I went to a local recruiting station to talk to the recruiter. The recruiter was like, oh yeah, take the ASVAB, let's see what you do. Of course, I scored good. And went up to MEPS again, did the whole little whoop whoop for the whole day. And the eye thing came up again. And they were like, how did you make it this far? And I was like, what are you talking about? They were like, how did you make it this far? And they didn't check your previous records. And I'm like, I don't have a record. What are you talking about? And they were like, you previously tried to join and you got a denial. And I was like, yeah, but I didn't want to do the waiver process. I didn't want to wait for that. I was just like, nah. And I never went and talked to the recruiter again because I was like, I didn't want to wait. I said, life has happened and I'm trying to join the military again. And he was like, well, we gotta pause this. He was like, cause you didn't tell me that you tried to join the military before. I was like, sir, what are you talking about? I was like, I did tell you. I told you that I was thinking about joining the military and then I changed my mind. He was like, yeah, you said you changed your mind. You didn't tell me you went through the process. I said, so when you type in my social security number and you looked me up, you didn't see anything? He was like, ma'am, we're just going to have to pause this, right? So now by this time, he's irritated. He's mad. And me not knowing when I can go talk to other recruiters, I'm just like, this man is upset that I'm up here with these people. And now I don't even know if I want to do the waiver process because I don't even know if he's actually going to help me get a waiver. I don't know anything about what's going on. I'm going to just go ahead and bow this one out. I'm going to just bow this out because the energy was off. And I was just like in my head and I was just telling myself like, girl, he is not going to let you he's not going to let you join the military. He's just not going to let you join the military. So I was just like, I'm not going to join. And I bowed out gracefully. 10 years later, the year is 2024. This year is 2024. I'm like, bruh, I'm about to join the military. And now, some people may be like, you was about to join the military in your 30s? Yes, I was about to join the military in my 30s. I was like, okay, let's join the military in my 30s. But the kicker was I only wanted to join the military because of the security clearance that I can get. Mind you, I've worked for the military previously. In 2 different states I've worked for the military. I currently work for the military. And before I started this job working for the military, I was just like, I really want a security clearance. All of these jobs that I've seen that I want require a secret clearance. And I do not have it. I do not have one. And the quickest way for me to get a security clearance is to join the Army Reserves or the Air Force Reserves. And so I was like, I got a degree. I'm going to join the military as an officer. I'm not in the military, y'all. I am not in the military. Oh, this is round 3. So I guess the universe is telling me, girl, do not join the military. You do not need to join the military to get any fulfillment. But here's the kicker, right? This time was different from the first 2 times. This time I actually got pushed back. I feel like the girl was trying to tell me that I was less than and some more. So I started the process in February. I went to the local recruiting station in Washington, and it was in Puyallup. And I go into the recruiting station and I tell the lady specifically, I'm like, hey, I want to join the reserves because I want to make sure that I solidify a job that I can take with me, but I don't want to do it full time. I just want to do it part time because I already make great money and I have a degree. So the lady was like, that's the only way you're gonna join the military. And I'm like, yeah, that's the only way I'm gonna join the military. I already make $90,000+ a year at my job. I don't need the check. I need the clearance. I didn't tell her I need the clearance, but in my head, I'm like, I don't need the check. I need the clearance. Because, of course, I'm not going to make $90,000 in the military until some time is put in. You know, you got to put some skin in the game. And I knew that I didn't have any skin in the game, so I was just like, now we're gonna get the security clearance and we're gonna move up in the ranks, okay? This is what we're gonna do. We're trying to get these contracting jobs. So boom. So she was like, well, you need to get some letters of recommendations and you need to pass the ASVAB with blah 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 to even qualify for OCS. So I'm like, okay, that's easy. She was like, what's easy? I was like, letters of recommendation and passing the test. She was like, can you get 4 to 5 letters of, I was like, yeah, I can get 4 to 5 letters of recommendation. That's easy. She was like, hmm? She was like, but they have to be of, caliber. I'm like, I work under a CEO and I have lots of friends in the military that are officers, and I'm pretty sure I can ask my husband to ask people at his job to give me a letter of recommendation that know me. Like, I can actually ask these people, like, hey, I network a lot. I know a lot of people. So when I told the girl, I know a lot of people, you know what she said? I've been in the military 6 years and I don't know a lot of people that would give me a letter of recommendation. I said, well, that's you. I said, I promise you. I said, give me about a week. I can get them to you. She was like, a week? Whoa. And I was like, okay, the energy is off. The energy is off. What is going on here? You're telling me I can't do something and I'm telling you I can, and you don't know me from a can of paint because you've only known me for the last 20 minutes that I've been talking to you, and you're doubting my abilities? Sis, is you cool? So, of course, I'm continuing with her because I still do not know that I can flop through recruiters. So boom, I'm asking my recruiter friends, I'm asking my friends that I know that spouses are recruiters, like, hey, this lady did this. She talking to me a little crazy and she acting like this and this. And so my one homegirl, they stationed out there in California, he was like, nah. He was like, don't let her talk to you like that. He was like, tell her this, and this. So I'm texting. So as he's telling me, I'm texting her and I'm telling her the same thing. I'm like, so is this true? And she was like, who told you that? And I'm like, I just want to know, is it true? And so she was like, yeah, that's true. I need to speak with my leadership. Da, 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 da. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So boom, the week passed. Bruh, I had five LORs. Yes, 5. I had 2 from 2 commanders. I had 1 from a CEO. I had 1 from a postal, like the postal manager. I had 1 from another dude that was working with me at the time. He was over a Texas location. Like, I had the LORs that she said I couldn't get within 1 week. I had them. And so I emailed all of them to her, and she was like, whoa, you could really get them. And I'm like, bitch, put some respect on it. Like, so after I get the LORs and stuff like that, turned to me and she was like, oh, I didn't get your transcripts. I said, oh, okay, I'll send it to you now. So I paid the little $10 and sent her my college transcripts. So she gets my college transcripts and she was like, there's something that popped up on your history for, drug use. I was like, lady, excuse me? She was like, yeah, we're not going to proceed with your application because there's just a history of drug abuse. I said, baby, I've never done drugs in my life. I've never done drugs in my life. What are you talking about? So back in 2020, when I was going to work for the post office, I had to get a drug screening. And so in Tennessee, the way that they label it is drug abuse panel test. And so it didn't say pre-employment or anything. It just says drug abuse panel test to make sure I didn't have any drugs in the system. So I told the lady, because when she told me, I'm calling these people and I'm like, I know y'all didn't say I do drugs. I know y'all didn't say I do drugs. Like, what? So the lady was like, no, it's a drug screening. I was like, give me the document. I want the document. Send me the document. So these people was like, we changed systems. We're going to have to figure it out because this is the old record. Blah, blah. And I'm like, well, time is money. So I paid instantly, got the record showing I didn't do no drugs, and it was a drug screening. Gave it to her. She was like, oh, okay. And so then she kept stalling. Did not process anything, did not put any of my information in the computer. So I'm like, okay, didn't you say you was gonna schedule me for the ASVAB? She was like, oh yeah. She was like, we're just waiting on your background check to come through and then we'll get you scheduled. So mind you, I'm still typing my friend's husband. I'm still asking my friends about this ASVAB because wouldn't you want to know if I can pass the ASVAB before you even waste all your time doing all of the other process? Like you would want to do that. Baby, she didn't do it. And I was like, okay. So then I asked my friend's husband, I'm like, hey, bro, she's not. I don't think she's working for me. I think she's working against me because she has this weird attitude towards me based off of me saying I know a lot of people and a lot of people are behind me joining the military as an officer. Like she has this like weird animosity and she keeps saying, are you sure you just don't want to go enlisted? And I'm like, no, I don't, because I don't want the check. I want the clearance. I know what job I want to get into. I already know these are the things. I know that when you go to OCS, you can choose, but when you go to reserves, it's a little different than when you're going active. Like, I know what I want. Stop trying to tell me to do these other things. So, boom, he was like, get a new recruiter. I was like, get a new recruiter? He was like, yeah, just get a new recruiter. I was like, you could do that? I was like, I already started the process with her. I really don't want to go through this with somebody else. He was like, no. He's like, once they input your information in the system, he was like, did she ever make you do like fingerprints or anything? And I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah. He was like, I'm pretty sure. He was like, let me look you up and see if I can find you in the system. He was like, and if I can find you, somebody else can find you. So boom, he looked me up. He was like, I found you. I'm like, okay, cool. So he was like, yeah, go to somebody else. So boom, not thinking anything, I just go to the next recruiting station. I'm probably like 5 miles in the opposite direction. So I go there. The girl is helping me. She was like, can you take the ASVAB? I'm like, yeah. So I take the ASVAB. I scored like a 70 something on the ASVAB. And it was just some bullshit. I didn't practice anything. I just, got 70 something. She was like, okay. She was like, your line scores are great. She was like, you definitely qualify for OCS. She was like, so now we just got to get you in for a physical. And I'm like, how I come talk to you and within 1 week I'm taking the ASVAB and I'm going to MEPS to do a physical. But with this shorty, she just kept giving me the runaround and she wasted 2 months of my time. Like, she wasted 2 months of my time. I could have been already in basic. And she wasted 2 months of my time. She was like, she didn't do any of this? I said, no. And then the recruiter texts me and she says, hey, Sam, you're talking to another recruiter? And I was like, yeah, I told you that I felt like you wasn't doing anything and I'm going to go see if somebody else can get the process moving faster than you. And yeah, she was like, oh, well, I didn't think you were going to go tell on me. And I'm like, tell on you? What are you talking about? Meanwhile, back at the ranch, the recruiting station that I went to was the one that was actually over hers. So her leadership was the one that I was talking to. Baby, she was playing. She started texting me, wow. And I'm like, Block, your energy been off since day one. You didn't even help me. So now you mad because they helping me and now they checking you because I'm a perfect candidate. I mean, yeah, granted these eyes didn't let me in the military. But so after I did all of that, I had to pause the process. I had to pause the process because we got orders to come to Korea. And I'm like, I can't allow my husband to come to Korea with 3 kids by himself and do the whole process by himself while I'm at basic training at OCS. I can't allow him to do that. So I paused. We get to Korea and I'm reaching out to the recruiter here. Baby. The man gave me the runaround and then he pulled up my thing and seen the eye situation. He was like, the only way that I'm going to help you is if you go see one of our providers and have him write something, have something in writing saying that your eye is not progressive, it's not going to get any worse, and that it's not affecting the eyesight of the other eye. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. As bad as I wanted to join the military, I was just like, I really don't want to do that. Like, my eye is not getting any worse. It's a childhood injury, and I've learned to live with it. So I was just like, yeah, we're not doing that. And then I landed the job that I have now, and guess what? That same reason why I was trying to join the military, I I got a secret clearance now. I was like, the universe works in mysterious ways. The military rejected me not one, not two, but three times. And I guess you can say the first time was on me because I didn't want to go get a waiver. The second time was on him because he was like, no, you didn't tell me. And it's just the vibe was on. Now, this third time, I'm going to say it was on me too. I'm going to say it was on me because of the fact that I literally was just like, I don't want to go through that. Like, I already have to go to the eye doctor every 6 months as is because they want to make sure my eye's not getting worse, which it's not. But to have to go to the eye doctor out of turn just randomly, I don't want to do that because they're gonna open my eye, they're gonna poke and prod, and then when they do the whole pupil dilation and things like that, it's uncomfortable for me, and I don't like it. And I really, I mean, I wear glasses. I've been told I have to wear glasses for the rest of my life to make sure I protect my good eye, and I'm okay with that. And ultimately, I wasn't joining the military because I really wanted to. I was joining the military to get a footing to progress in a role that I've already established for myself. So I was just like, my husband was like, you know, you can't quit the military, right? And I was like, yeah, no, I'm aware. He was like, yeah. He was like, so just so you know, I'm behind you on this, but just know you can't quit. Once you in, you in, and you gotta finish your contract. He was like, you know how you do when you don't like something. He'd be like, I'm out of here. I'm going to find something else. He was like, so once you in, you in. You gotta finish your contract. And I was like, I know. That's why I'm going reserve. And ultimately, of course, I'm not in the military. I was rejected. I'm gonna say I was rejected because the recruiter was like, I'm not gonna help you until you do what I want you to do. And so it is what it is. Has anybody else had any eye issues to where they had to stop the process, or have you ever tried to join the military and you kind of just took a different path? Like, subscribe, drop your answers in the comments. I would like to know, is there any other people out there like me that have tried to join the military but has been rejected? Okay, because I want to know. I think that is a very interesting story that I tried to join the military, not one, not two, but three freaking times. And I am not in the military still. And I just work for them now. I work for the Department of Defense. So, it's an interesting story. We're interesting people out here. And I just want to know, is there anybody else that's trying to join the military and could not? Stay tuned. Come back, revisit me. And, come clock this tea with me, okay? Adios.